And the North Bay wildfires are almost fully contained. The investigation still continues as what caused the fire.
A lawsuit has already been claimed. We'll tell you.
Welcome to State of Events. I'm Corinne Rivera.
And I'm Veronica Kuntz-Vervong. Stand by. We're experiencing some technical difficulties, so State of Events will be returning in a moment.
The North Bay wildfires are almost fully contained, but questions about the cause of the firestorm still remain.
And a lawsuit has already been filed. We'll tell you more about the case and give you additional updates on the long road to recovery.
Welcome to State of Events. I'm Corinne Rivera.
And I'm Veronica Kuntz-Vervong. A Santa Rosa couple filed a lawsuit against PG&E after they lost their home in the Tubbs fire. The lawsuit claims the fire was caused by alleged negligence by the utility managing the lines and trees. Investigators have not yet determined if PG&E is at fault, but a local commercial says that if you're affected by the fire, you should sue PG&E.
State of Events investigative reporter Antoine Simeon is live at PG&E headquarters, where some are placing the blame on the electric company. Antoine?
That's right, Corinne. Many people are asking the big question. Was PG&E responsible for the North Bay fires? Let's take a closer look into the story. What was once a thriving neighborhood with plenty of homes quickly became blocks of burned rubble and smoldering ash. Many citizens are filing lawsuits against PG&E after reports that fallen power lines and damaged electrical equipment may have caused the fires. An attorney for a Santa Rosa couple is building a strong case against the power company.
It is clear based on the preliminary evidence here that this fire most likely started because of issues with maintenance of the PG&E power system, and unfortunately this is not the first time this has happened.
Residents around the Bay Area have seen disasters like this before, which raises questions about the utility company.
Do I think it was PG&E? It's within the realm of possibility after San Bruno. You know, we know that it's not possible to maintain an infrastructure that large with how few people they have, and it's definitely within the realm of possibility.
The California Public Utilities Commission sent a letter to PG&E asking them to preserve all evidence related to the causes of the fires. Officials with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, known as CAL FIRE, have opened up an investigation into PG&E and potential causes of the fire. John Garman lives in Coffey Park, where the fire torched almost every home. He's grateful that his house survived the fire, but is still very concerned.
It was kind of a relief, but sadness at the same time because everything else is gone around. I know too many friends that lost their house.
John says it's too early to start pointing fingers and cites how changes in the climate may have played a role.
I mean, power lines go down a lot, and it was a perfect storm of things that happened. I don't think it's PG&E's fault. I think that, you know, a power line went down, caused something. With the winds the way they were, there wasn't really much they could do. There's just a perfect storm of weather, climate.
Many scenarios like arson cannot be ruled out at this moment. Regulators are also looking into vegetation and trees around power lines to determine if any rules were violated. I was able to get in touch with a PG&E official here at the main San Francisco headquarters. When I asked them about the ongoing investigation and the safety precautions with their electrical equipment, they simply did not respond. For more information on this story and future updates, visit our website at sfsustateofevents.com. In San Francisco, I'm Antoine Simeon for State of Events.
Thanks, Antoine. Insurance companies are processing claims from tens of thousands of policyholders that lost everything in the North Bay fire. This includes commercial and residential structures and vehicles. Representatives from insurance companies say they're processing claims as quickly as they can and are finding ways to provide their members with necessary funds to cover immediate living expenses.
As of Monday, Napa schools have reopened for the first time since the fires. A spokeswoman from the Napa Unified School District said that every class is going to spend some time talking about the fires in order to allow kids to process. While Napa students are settling back into their normal routine, Sonoma and Santa Rosa students are expected to miss another week of school.
And while businesses and schools are coming back from the break, Chipotle is also helping victims of the North Bay fire, and you can too. Tomorrow, all Chipotle restaurants in the Bay Area will donate 100% of sales to the Napa Valley Community Foundation and the Community Foundation of Sonoma County. All proceeds will go to the families affected by the fire. Customers need to mention the North Bay fire to the cashier before paying. The fundraiser starts at 10:45 a.m. and ends at 9 p.m.
Coming up, the Senate approves a preliminary $36.5 billion disaster relief fund. We'll tell you just where that money would go to and when the final vote takes place.
And our State of Events reporter took part in SFSU's Coffee with a Cup program alongside Gator to participate in one of the largest earthquake drills in the state. We'll tell you more about the Great California Shakeup after the break.
It was kind of a relief, but sadness at the same time because everything else is gone around. I know too many friends have lost their house.
John says it's too early to start pointing fingers and cites how changes in the climate may have played a role.
I mean, power lines went down a lot, and it was a perfect storm of things that happened. I don't think it's PG&E's fault. I think that, you know, a power line went down, caused something. With the winds the way they were, there wasn't really much they could do. There's just a perfect storm of weather.
Many scenarios like arson cannot be ruled out.
Welcome back to State of Events.
On Monday, the Senate gave a preliminary approval to a $36.5 billion disaster relief package. This fund would provide Puerto Rico with much-needed cash, as well as keep the federal flood insurance program from running out of money to pay claims. But the bill rejects Texas and Florida congressional delegations for additional money to rebuild after Hurricane Harvey and Irma. The final vote will take place this week. San Francisco State Police hosted Coffee with the Cops on campus to help build the bond between campus police and students. Reporter Tyler McKinney was there to capture all the action.
The University Police Department was out and about Thursday morning here at San Francisco State University. The Environmental Risk Management and Environmental Health and Safety joined them for an emergency preparedness event for the community. Students were invited to grab a cup of coffee and mingle with police to discuss what to do during an emergency.
Good to have police officers trained in it, but if you have a civilian staff on this campus and students and faculty and the staff here that are also aware of what to do in that type of scenario, then it's just going to make for a very safe environment.
There were games, demonstrations, and a special appearance. The San Francisco State Emergency Notification System was tested at 10:19 a.m. It is tested twice a year using updated personal contact info in the school's online system. It is meant to alert students and faculty members via text, email, or voicemail during an emergency. Tables were covered with pamphlets and flyers giving more information on safety guidelines. I took some extra time to take a closer look at emergency kit supplies.
Glow sticks so people can find you, a whistle so people can find you, canned food.
Gator participated in the largest earthquake drill brought to you by the Great California Shakeout. Students and faculty watched Gator crouch down to protect his head from any potential debris resulting from a quake.
Natural disasters can be scary, but having the supplies you need and a plan can help to ease your mind in the event of an emergency. To find out more about emergency preparedness, visit sfsustateofevents.com. In San Francisco, Tyler McKinney, State of Events.
A government accountability report released on Monday says climate change costs taxpayers billions of dollars each year. And this doesn't include the massive tolls of the most recent hurricanes, wildfires, and floods. The federal government spent more than $350 billion over the past decade on disaster funds. It also predicts the number to rise by $35 billion by the year 2050. There is no government-wide planning to manage these recurring costs. The White House and Environmental Protection Agency was provided a copy of the report, and they have yet to comment.
A hepatitis A outbreak in San Diego has led to officials declaring a public health emergency. The police are clearing homeless tents as more than 500 people have been affected and 19 killed. The highly contagious virus has spread through homeless encampments. While there are no reports of the virus in the Bay Area, there have been 8 cases reported in Oregon. There's currently a national shortage on the vaccination for adults.
And a leading vegetable supplier in Salinas is recalling its products after a possible listeria outbreak. Mac Packing contaminated products is sold at Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and Meijer grocery stores. Items affected are labeled best used by October 11th through the 20th. The Center for Disease Control says to either throw it out or return it to the place of purchase. No illnesses have been reported.
Coming up on this week's edition of WTF SFSU, State of Events' Lucia Cabrera reports on the commuter chaos that comes along with getting to school.
And the hashtag #MeToo campaign continues to spread across social media. We sit down with a women's studies expert to talk about sexual harassment in the workplace. Stay tuned.
If you are a student that commutes from outside San Francisco, to get to SFSU, you know the struggle is real. Here is Lucia Cabrera with WTF SFSU Shuttles.
Waking up early in the morning is a struggle enough. Some of the San Francisco State University students have to struggle the day-by-day delays that BART has. But not just that. They also have to struggle the long line that the shuttle has, mainly when the shuttle takes about 45 minutes to arrive. Some of these students do not know that they can find the schedule on the San Francisco State University website. But here's the tricky part. In the website, it says that the shuttle service is from 10 to 15 minutes. But if you look down where it says the shuttle pickup schedule, and you go to where it says Daily City BART, you can see that one of the hours has 9:20 a.m. and then it goes to 4:40 p.m. So what does that mean? That the shuttle doesn't commute from that time? What? WTF SFSU. Now let's hear from someone who wanted to be anonymous because he thought that if he actually showed himself, the shuttle will even be later than expected.
I think that they need to have multiple shuttles, especially during the peak hours, because there's more students that have more morning classes.
Yeah, whatever you said. WTF SFSU. So in this bus in here, there's no students and no driver. Yeah, exactly. WTF SFSU, because apparently this bus is supposed to be on working mode right now. So many of them decide instead of waiting for the shuttle even longer, they take their second option, which will be bus 28. So let's go behind what the students actually go through day by day when they wait for the shuttle and they go to Daly City BART. In this shuttle, the shuttle driver actually walked out and they're waiting for the shuttle driver to arrive.
Meanwhile,
I know, girl, this is frustration level 1,000.
one eternity later.
Finally, the shuttle driver arrives, and after waiting for that long, he still decides to fix his jacket. WTF, SFSU, and your shuttles. I'm Lucia Cabrera, State of Events.
WTF indeed. And if you're shuttling all the way to BART during the holidays, you might notice something different about the vehicles. The transportation service is finally upgrading its rail cars. It passed safety inspection tests over the weekend and is going to start carrying commuters around Thanksgiving. The new cars boast 3 doors on each side, bike racks, and color-coded seating. It'll also have more reliable heat and air conditioning. No specific schedule is set for when and where the new trains will operate, but BART expects to have more than 70 new vehicles on tracks by summer 2018. And First Lady Melania Trump took a surprise trip to a middle school district in Detroit on Monday to talk about bullying. She spoke to students and joined them for lunch during the No One Eats Alone Day. The event promotes kids to be inclusive during lunchtime. The First Lady says bringing awareness to bullying is a top priority during her time in the White House.
New York prosecutors are investigating the Weinstein Company following allegations of sexual assault made against co-founder Harvey Weinstein. The civil rights inquiry seeks to identify employees subjected to harassment. Company documents will be seized as part of the investigation. More than 24 women made accusations against the film producer. Weinstein says any sexual relations he had were consensual.
And with the scandal this past week, we've seen a number of reports of sexual harassment claims from thousands of women across social media. They're all participating in the Me Too campaign. State of Events reporter Gabby Gebhardt joins us live in studio to discuss this on the ongoing issue of women in the workplace. Gabby?
Thanks, Bronny. Well, this morning I'm joined with Veronica Rebello, and she is an assistant professor of management in the College of Business here at San Francisco State University. She has a PhD in psychology and women's studies. She is here to discuss harassment in the workplace and how to protect and prevent it. How are you doing today, Professor?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Well, good. Thank you so much for being here. So, we keep hearing about harassment, whether it's verbal or sexual, ranging from actors, producers, even directors, So why now do you believe people are coming forward to publicize it more than ever before?
Yeah, well, first, I think it's important to note the visibility is new, but the problem isn't. Sexual harassment and other types of more general harassment have been persisting in organizations for a while. But I do think that the role of social media, as well as some of the celebrity status of the people coming forward, have given greater visibility and shed light on this issue.
Definitely. Well, what do you think women and men can do to speak out about this issue? Where could they turn? Who could they talk to? Who really can help protect them?
Yeah, I think families and workplaces are really where we can focus our energies for sites of action. At home is where we can begin to foster cultures of respect and consent, appropriate boundary setting, interpersonal relations. And in the workplace, managers and leaders have the power to respond to sexual harassment as soon as it happens, enforce zero tolerance policies, as well as engage in certain practices to prevent it altogether.
Definitely. Well, what about people in positions of power? Like, what if a woman felt powerless at her workplace? It's her boss. What could she do in a situation like that?
Yeah, I think it's really challenging, especially given the risk of retaliation that people, especially women, often experience when they do come forward. So first and foremost, I think it's important to receive psychological and social support in the immediate aftermath of harassment. And that doesn't have to come from work. Targets of harassment could confide in friends or family or trusted colleagues. But if they do feel comfortable coming forward with a more formal report, some organizations do have confidential reporting options, sometimes through HR office. But at the very least, targets of harassment should try to document as many instances as they can remember in order to help foster their case and report.
Definitely. Okay, and now we're seeing even a trend across social media platforms on Twitter, this whole hashtag #MeToo campaign. So could you tell us a little bit about what that is and how people are speaking out now?
Absolutely. So It seems like more recently people are engaging with this campaign, although Tarana Burke, a Black woman who's been working with sexual assault survivors for a long time, is the one who initially created this hashtag and movement. And so I think one of the benefits of the Me Too campaign is, again, to give greater visibility to this issue, to recognize that harassment isn't an isolated experience, but rather a very common experience among women and gender nonconforming people, especially people with other marginalized identities.
Definitely, and then why do you think that people that, are maybe marginalized or of color, why do you think people are targeting them as victims, over other individuals?
Yeah, well, what we see happening in the research is that harassment is often used as a tool to punish people who deviate from the status quo in some way. And thinking about who is the ideal type of worker in the eyes of a lot of people, that isn't someone who's gender nonconforming, it isn't someone who's undocumented, that isn't a woman of color. And there are some people who feel threatened by the sheer presence of people who are viewed to deviate from that status quo.
Definitely. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here to join us, and that is all we're going to have time for today, so thank you.
Thank you, Gabby.
I think it's just horrible that it's been happening so long, but I think it's great that we're in a day and age that we're able to have these conversations and the community's getting together. I think that's amazing.
Seriously, being able to talk about it with your community and your workplace is so important, and it's so important to feel safe in your environment. And especially now with all the fires going on, it's important to feel safe and be able to discuss these issues and discuss everything.
Yeah,
so,
and it's great we have organizations helping everyone too, like Chipotle.
Yeah, that's a great thing. Everyone go to Chipotle tomorrow to donate to the Fire Relief Fund.
Yes. And on that note, that's it for our show. For more information, log on to sfsustateofevents.com. In Studio 1, I'm Veronica Kunzvervong.
And I'm Corinne Rivera.
We'll see you next time.